The Brooklyn Nets got better without Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. You're probably thinking, how does a team without Kevin Durant, a top 10 player of all time, and a team without Kyrie Irving, one of the best ball handlers, shot creators we've ever seen, get better with losing both of them? Well, before you go and comment on this video saying this guy has no idea what he's talking about, hear me out first. The Nets actually didn't get better overall without KD and Kyrie, but they did get better in a few key areas. That counts for something. Let's talk about it. Most people believe that after the Nets traded Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving that they'd be horrible and they'd start tanking. And some people still believe that right now. But it's clear that that's not going to be the case. In their first 3 games, they've actually looked pretty impressive, and they've definitely improved in 2 massive areas. Firstly, the Nets are much improved defensively. Throughout the Kevin Durant, KD, and even James Harden era, the Nets were horrible defensively. And if you've seen any of those games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was pretty much who's going to score more, the Nets or the other team. And luckily for the Nets, since they had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, most of the time they won that game, but that wasn't sustainable come playoff time. And ironically enough, it's taken trading all 3 of those guys to compile a actually really solid defensive unit. Although this season the Nets have been quite solid defensively, the return they got back from the KD and Kyrie trades helped them compile what looks to be an elite level defense. Adding stoppers like Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith, and other formidable defenders like Cam Johnson and Dinwiddie to a core of Nick Claxton and Royce O'Neal looks pretty serious. The Nets with KD and Kyrie this season already ran a pretty switch-heavy scheme, so with adding defenders like Bridges and Dorian Finney-Smith, who are fantastic perimeter defenders, this is going to amplify that scheme and make it even better. And outside of the loss to the Knicks that the Brooklyn Nets have had with this new unit, they've looked really good defensively, keeping teams to under 105 points in 2 out of the 3 games, and they've looked incredible. So I think this is going to be a massive strong suit for them moving forward. The second area where the Nets improved massively is their roster is much more balanced this time around. When you had KD, Kyrie, and Harden, there was pretty much 0 depth. I mean, you had like Jeff Green as your best other role player. That's pretty disappointing, although we do love Uncle Jeff. The team was so dependent on that offensive heavy unit that they didn't really have any balance anywhere else on the roster. Of course, some of those guys like Harden, KD, and Kyrie could pass a little bit, but they had no other playmakers outside of them, and then just KD could play defense, pretty much nothing else from anybody else. So now that they've actually compiled a full unit and a full team, it's going to be a lot better for them. Now you have guys throughout the roster that can do and specialize in multiple different things. You have defenders like Bridges, Claxton, and Royce O'Neal, shooters like Cam Johnson and Joe Harris, passers like Ben Simmons. He's fallen off a cliff, but he can still pass the ball. That's pretty much the only thing he knows how to do nowadays. And then you also have shot creators like Cameron Thomas. We've seen what he can do. 47, 40 plus, another 40 plus. If he gets the right opportunity, he could be really good. And then other established shot creators like Dinwiddie. And we've seen what Bridges has shown so far with his shot creation. It looks pretty deadly. No longer with this roster do you have to heavily rely on one aspect of your game, like just the scoring like they had to before. Now it's spread out into different areas. And although overall the team might not be better, it's a much better watch in my opinion, and in the long run you're building a better foundation. Also with trading the big 3, especially KD and Kyrie recently, you've gotten a lot younger. With Bridges, he's showing that he could be a bright young star. Cam Thomas is going to get more playing time, and even Dinwiddie and Finney-Smith are a bit younger than some of the guys you had before. And fortunately, you've still managed to stay competitive. The Nets have no incentive to lose. They have a bunch of picks, and they have a really good roster right now, so there's no reason for them to start tanking. And I think this team is going to be fantastic moving forward in the future. And they've brought back that fun, collective Nets unit that we saw back in 2019. It's going to be a fun Nets team moving forward. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you're interested in some more consistent NBA content talking about everything there is to talk about in the NBA from a unique point of view, then this is the place for you. I try to put out at least one new piece of NBA content a week, so if that interests you, consider hitting a like and a sub. And as always, stay rested. See you in the next one.